right. So we're going to be having a looky at Mortal Kombat 3 on the PlayStation 1. Okay. I remember in high school going all the way into the city and going up into the Maya Center and asking them at the desk to put, because they had like a PlayStation, like before the PlayStation 1 came out, or just after, they had like a demo like cabinet. So I'd ask them to put on like Mortal Kombat 3 or Tekken 1 or Warhawk, loaded sometimes as well. And MK3 was without a doubt, is the first arcade port accurate for home. It is incredible. It is also the first, from memory, CD-based Mortal Kombat game, because before that we had them all on cartridge. Now, there is a caveat, unfortunately, with being on the CD, especially back then. The Shang Tsung morph, you had options, either disable it completely, make it all, or opponent. If you have it on all, it means that outside of the other character on screen, if you try and load up another morph, what happens is that you'll actually, like, the game will pause slightly to load it, and then it'll load it, and then you'll continue on, and then it'll load back. Like, so it's very jarring to the combat experience. It's better to just stick it on opponent, and then of course we've seen in later games where, you know, they just basically make it so that, you know, he can just mimic, you know, the person in front of him. Because it is pretty big. Like, you think about it, like the rosters just get bigger and bigger, and then you've got to accommodate for, you know, you know, you've got to accommodate for like having to remember all of these particular morphs. So I don't mind that it's just the opponent. That's fine, you know. So anyway, there is a secret menu you can access on the trademark screen. You put in the code, it open, and you hear like Shao Kahn says something, and then you can access a hidden menu screen. So they brought that from previous games as well, which is great. Everything from free to play, smoke on or off, fatality time, level select, round, and one round match and one hit death, which is awesome. So let's have a look at the characters. All right. So it's a 15 full roster. Of course, in the arcade, we didn't know who Smoke was originally. All right. We were just waiting for them to let us know who the hidden, like who the extra slot was in the middle. Some people just thought it was a design decision that way, but eventually it came out, you know, that it was that. Now, what's really interesting too, that MK3 introduced so much new stuff. We got difficulty towers versus the first 1 and 2 games as well. And the good thing about this game, the CD-based version, is that we actually got Redbook audio, which is super crystal clear, bone-crunching epicness, both for the music and for the sound effects for this game. It was actually wonderful to actually have that level of quality, right? So, here we go. Now I've got to try and fight while I'm doing the review, right? There we go. So yeah, so it is a wonderful arcade port, like truly, like absolutely wonderful arcade port, right? You can't do any better than this for its time, right? And it was one of the few launch titles as well for the PlayStation 1, so it really made an impact as well, which was really good. People wanted that, you know. They wanted to, you know, have some of these awesome games, and we got that with Mortal Kombat 3, right? So now they also introduced, right, the run meter that you can see there, that actually goes down when you do combos or you run in. So when you run in, it actually goes down. When you do combos, it also goes down as well, which is I personally prefer as a resource meter. I wish they would bring that back. So that way we don't get some of the broken gameplay we do get in modern days for the MK games. Now, there is a little bit of loading as well, obviously, between fights. I am running this on an emulator, so there is going to be a little bit quicker loading. But if you're playing this on the original PlayStation 1, yeah, you'd have significant more loading than what you'd get, you know, running it through the emulator, right? So it is pretty cool. right? So I do like running these games on an emulator. So just because of the experience, I can just load stuff up, and there's game states for it, and all sorts of stuff. Oh, he's kicking my ass. It's so hard to talk and fight at the same time. It really is. Now, one of the cool things about this game as well, MK3 in general, right? I'll see if I can get on the stage to showcase. It was the first Mortal Kombat game to also introduce multi-levels. Okay, so we've had stage fatalities for a little bit. We got more in MK2. MK3, they came back as well. And then we got not only combat codes also introduced, but also multi-level stages. So we could actually uppercut someone into a higher stage, break through the ceiling, and it was great. We couldn't go down, but we could go up. It was very, very cool. Very cool. So they really did introduce a lot in Mortal Kombat 3 in general. It was also such a stark contrast with the actual roster as well. So we got, fan favorites like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Scorpion and Reptile weren't present anymore. But in their stead, we actually got Cyrax and Sector. And at first, people were like, "Oh, is that a robotic Scorpion?" And it's like, no, it's not. Right? Basically, the closest we get to Scorpion in Mortal Kombat 3 is robotic smoke, right? So cyber smoke, right? Oh, I thought I'd catch her. There we go. No. I gotta stop doing that. I'm not gonna catch her. Computer's just too quick. Oh! Oh, I got her. Yay. So, yeah, so we got new characters, obviously, from MK2. We didn't get Katana and Melina back. So they were gone after just one game. Instead, we got Shiva, we got Sindel, as brand new females in the game as well. So yeah, so it was such a stark contrast for the game. Oh no, I messed it up. I'll do it again. Do it again. There we go. Oh, damn it. This is the Pet 3 stage, by the way. Right? Now, backgrounds all look great. They look fantastic. Arcade accurate. Sounds arcade accurate. Characters look arcade accurate. You know, apart from the loading, you wouldn't know that you're not playing the arcade version. So they've done a wonderful job. Oh, man. There's those combos. He's got me. He's going to do fatality. That was such a weird fatality even back then. So, yeah. So they really brought in a lot. 3 difficulty towers of different sizes as well. Try another character so you guys can see. We got the run meter, which then introduced combos like dialer combos or dial-up combos, is what they were called. Combat codes. We still had like the intro, face cards, telling us about each character. We go through in the track mode, and of course we got like arcade endings as well for each character, which was great. So they did a good job with that. It was a very complete package, if you will. So even though we lost Reptile, Melina, Scorpion, and Katana, we also gained as well. We got Kano and Sonya back. People wondering about why Sub-Zero looks the way he does, which was really interesting. So that was a whole other conversation. It was one of the things I really loved about back in the day. Because we didn't have the internet, we just had to talk amongst our friends. We'd have to wait for the gaming magazines to come out to give us secrets and stuff. So it was pretty cool like that. So yeah, that was a classic smoke combo, that one. But yeah. And there were some secrets. You could also fight Noob Sidebot, but in the MK3 version, because they didn't actually have a male ninja to copy from, they actually used a blacked out blacked out Kano. So when you fight Noob in this game, it actually is the silhouette of Kano, which is really bizarre. Like, it's really bizarre, man, right? So, oh, I really want to show that. I want to show a stage so you can break through the ceiling for you guys. So, but also like an incredible step up too, animation wise. Just wonderful. Like, they did such a great job from MK2 to 3, and I thought the jump from MK1 to MK2 was amazing, right? So yeah, it was amazing the amount of stuff that they actually put into this game. Of course, things like Test Your Might didn't come back. We wouldn't see that for a number more games as well, unfortunately. It seemed like that was, like, at the time, just one of those mini games that only showed up in MK1 and we never got a chance to see it again. So, which is unfortunate. But yeah, that was, it was cool. It was, even though, like I said, we missed some favorites, we did end up, having some characters that became favorites. So Sector, Cybersmoke, Cyrax, Cabal, Sindel. You know, like, you could pretty much choose pretty much every character like that was new or had come back, ended up becoming, you know, a favorite as well. So I'm gonna showcase. Here we go. There he goes. So that's what we got, and there's a few stages like that as well, which is cool. So I'll let him beat me so we can go back. Because I can pause it, but for some reason I can't actually. They didn't sort of bring in or introduce the ability to, like, you know, quit. You know how Capcom games where you press all, like, the lights, like all the shoulder buttons, and select and start, and you could reset the game back to the menu? Yeah, those are good old days. So, but yeah, very fast paced game. Very cool, but just wonderful. Great memories for me. I think my first MK3 game was the Super Nintendo one, because I wanted the best version at the time then. And then when the PS1 was coming out, they actually did an arcade port, and I was just blown away, man. I'm like, that's amazing. Like, that's so cool, right? So yeah, it's great. So if you got an opportunity to still play this, do it. It's very cool. Whether it be through emulation, or if you got an old PlayStation 1, or you can emulate it through, like, the PS2 hardware, stuff like that. So, but it is very cool, right? And they did a wonderful job sort of, you know, designing these characters. You know, you really felt like all of these characters were very fleshed out, both with movesets and storylines and everything like that. So, including some interesting, like, changes to like characters, like you'd actually have to, like, hold one button to activate another. You know, stuff like that. It was, you know, like I just showed you with Cyrax's bombs, right? So you could actually, like, you know, like, you hold down left kick, and then you could do close ones, either pressing forward, and then high kick, or back. You know, he had like an air throw, he had a teleport. You know, like, they sort of, some of these characters they went pretty cool on, like, pretty crazy on, and I do appreciate that. So, and of course the backgrounds look fantastic. They really do. So there's only probably one MK game I didn't really overly sort of find attractive background wise, and that was MK11. Everything just kind of felt really boring. But every other MK game so far has been very solid. So, but anyway, what do you think of Mortal Kombat 3 on the PlayStation 1? Did you guys get it? I know that when they announced Ultimate MK3 for the Saturn, I was very disappointed. Because, you know, I could only afford one console then. So I got the PlayStation because it was the big thing. And then Sega got the rights for Ultimate MK3. Although, interestingly enough, in the 3D era, I think on the premium edition of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, you can they actually put arcade version of Ultimate MK3, which is cool. Right, so you could finally get Mortal Kombat back on the PlayStation 1. Or sorry, on the PlayStation family, even though it's PS2. And then you've got I think they put Mortal Kombat 2 arcade as well. Because I have reviewed the PlayStation 1 only release, which was only in Japan, of Mortal Kombat 2. So that's interesting. Right? But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in Mortal Kombat 3 on the PlayStation 1. And I will catch you guys next time. See ya.